Good morning, beautiful people. I am on the trail again today, and guess what? I am in my tennis shoes, which means I am here to exercise and work out. Yesterday I didn't take the day off. I did work, but I took the morning very slow because the day before I worked out a lot. I mean, not intentionally, but work was just heavy. I'll just put it that way. There was a lot of heavy lifting and moving and carrying. And then that day I also started my moon time. I love that word for it. One of my favorite book series. When women started their moon time, the men freaked out and made them sit still for 3 days. Not still, but they insisted that they do nothing, and they fussed over them. And that's the word that they used, fussed. So, love that series. Anyway, so I actually did give myself some grace yesterday and let myself rest. I am so used to powering through and controlling and being in charge and, you know, not slowing down. It's different for me, and it always comes with a little twinge of guilt and shame. But I'm letting go of that, because if one of the secrets I learned a long time ago, and it hasn't completely sunk in, but it's there. The better that we take care of ourselves, the easier and more abundant our life becomes, because we are saying to the universe that we are worth it. And the universe responds in kind and says, yes, yes, you are. I see that you value yourself. I value you too. And that is how we're supposed to walk in the world. Not with stress, not with grief, not with shame for not pushing hard enough or doing enough, which a lot of us just spend so much time on that hamster wheel. It doesn't get us anywhere. The harder I push, the less I get. So, but today, since I rested yesterday, I am up for a full-on hike. I've got my tennis shoes on. Today is going to be one of the hotter days this summer. We're very lucky in Texas this year that it has not gone into the 110s and above. It has not stayed there for a consecutive week. It has only gone up to about 100, and I think maybe the hottest was 103, but I'm not even sure we hit that. So we're very lucky. Today will be 100, but right now it's not. And I'm hiking on one of my favorite paths. This path helped me lose 60 pounds. And it's not easy, but it is fun. Anyway, something else I really wanted to share today. Today's video is going to be a little bit long. I wanted to share about trauma. I actually want to share some of my trauma. So instead of this being a short, cute, light video, we're going to get into some stuff. So we all have things that happen to us in our childhood that made us armor, react, shut down, or adapt maladaptive coping mechanisms, which in the moment worked very well. But as independent adults, it does not work well, and it shuts us down when we need to be opening up. So I'm going to share some of mine. When I was young, my parents were much older. My mom was 43 and my dad was 54 when I was born. So this means that they were ailing when I was a young child and a teenager. When I was about 9, my mom got breast cancer. And because she was older and unhealthy, she was overweight and had 7 children, there was a very good chance that we were going to lose her. So that really, really impacted me. And then when I was 13, luckily we did not lose my mom, but it still reminded me how I could. When I was 13, my dad began with dementia and started not being reliable, which, to be honest, he hadn't been reliable for years. So last night, I had a stress dream that I alone was taking care of my father, which is not a thing that ever happened. My sister always supported me, and in fact, she did the majority of taking care of my father. But because he was my core family, my sister had her own family and lived on her own. Because he was my core family, my mother, my father, I always felt very responsible for him, like primarily responsible for him. And I had a dream last night that I left him alone for 5 days. I did not check on him. I did not feed him. I did not change him. I did not bathe him. And it was a lot of stress in a dream overnight. But when I woke up, I realized that my inner child is pissed off. She is mad about having to take care of her mother and father, about not getting to be a child, because I started being in charge of my father a year after he retired. So I was 9 when I really first started taking care of him. And then I took care of him mostly my last 2 years of high school and my first year of college. College is a completely different place when you are changing adult diapers and stressed out about your living situation and knowing that there's nobody to take care of you because you're the one doing the caretaking. So the trauma that I'm working with today is my inner child's anger and not getting to be a child. 9 is a very young age to start parent caretaking, even if it was in little ways back then. So yeah, it's a big deal. There is something called parentification of a child. It's where the child has to be in charge. And I'm going to tell you that a lot of my structure is built from that fear and that instability of knowing that adults can't be counted on, sometimes aren't safe, and sometimes don't make the best decisions or decisions that are healthy for you. This is why I'm so anti-patriarchy in government, because I've seen firsthand what happens when stupid people are in charge making rules. Legit. So I'm sitting with my inner child. I'm letting her be angry about having to worry about taking care of her parents and her family, which has never stopped. Since I lost my mother at 16, I always worry about my siblings, and I really, truly, at that time, believed it was my job to heal them and save them and keep them together. So, yeah, a lot of trauma coming up for healing. And I can tell you, as someone who wanted to save the people that they love but couldn't, absolutely did not have the power to, didn't have the power to make a change, to make things better, to keep their mother alive. You, in that situation, people who have been in that situation, it does create this savior, rescuer complex where you just want to fix everything for everybody. And it's not healthy for us because it also leads to martyrdom. Yippee. And we always put ourselves last. So there is a lot to unpack there, a lot going on, and just stuff to work out. Yeah, by the way, I've stopped deleting things when other people get in my videos. It's too much work. I put in too much work to these to just delete because somebody else decides to show up. Okay, anyway, that is what I want to share. We need to learn to put ourselves first. We need to let that little child know that they are safe, not because of somebody else, but because of adult us. We are now in charge. We are now the safety we seek. And that little girl does not need to caretake or control any other humans, including ones randomly on the trail. They're not our problem. We are our biggest problem and our primary work. Okay, so let's get out there, put on our tennis shoes, take care of ourselves, and most importantly, hold that scared little child. Let them know they are safe now. They do have control now, and they're not responsible for the people who were supposed to be taking care of them. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please do something nice for yourself. Just something nice. Just something nice. Love on yourself a little bit. Give yourself a little more grace, especially if it's your moon time. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.